Welcome back, everybody. It's time for more of this wonderful story. I know you're excited. I certainly am. So let's keep reading, shall we? The sun beat down on Nick's black skull-patterned fedora as he made his way into the dilapidated church Mr. Johnson had arranged as a meeting place. The grim, shadowy figure leaning over the disused pulpit was all business, heart and mind and soul. Fear and subtlety were alien to this individual. Nick knew well his eyes belonged to the skull of a predator. Nick made an astute observation. It's funny how you choose this of all places. It temples the ignorance of the average sheeple. I fucking love this. Sometimes ignorance is bliss. Let's cut to the chase, killer. You ever heard of an island called Velena? Of course, Nick answered immediately, not even pausing to consult his brain's encyclopedic knowledge of world geography. Just another dirt patch of an island in the Gulf, right? Well, there are certain resources on Velena. Interest I represent want to invest a large sum of money in this island. You following me? Yeah. President of the country, General Zayas Dante, overthrew the government, and for the past year or so, his death squads have decimated the population. He even had two of our company's soil researchers killed. We're told he was in on the execution. Johnson handed over a folder. Inside was a picture of a tin-pot despot of a man in an over-metal uniform. His eyes held a hint of madness. That's him, Dante. So-called Red Guards kill unarmed women and children without even thinking twice. Like so many failed leaders, he tries to kill his way to power, while a real man would use his intellect to govern a nation in a state of enlightened atheism. Right. Anyway, majority of the people go hungry while I'll stop you there, Nick replied as he toyed with the Velcro on his fingerless gloves. What people eat isn't my concern. What people pay is. No foreplay here. The people I represent won't do business with a government that could collapse in a few years, or one that could become just more radical. Johnson stared hard in Nick's eyes. No homo. Before handing over another folder. More details. We've arranged a contact. Well-financed mercenary operation. Could very well succeed. They're wasting my time. What do you want? Dante, removed permanently. Herobrine gets removed. Be specific. We want him gone. Dead? Yes, dead. His soldiers dead. His half-assed government dead. Is that specific enough for you? Crystal. Nick headed back to his Nissan Maxima, its sweet aftermarket spoiler and My Little Pony wrap setting it apart from the other cars parked along the street. He was treated to the unpleasant sight of a police officer standing next to the driver's side door, writing a ticket. Whoa, freeze, I could park there, shouted Nick as he hurried towards his car. The officer looked up, reaching reflexively for his sidearm. He relaxed somewhat when he got a good look at the scruffy, overweight man shuffling towards him, puffing with the exhaustion of jogging across the church lawn. Yeah, sir, you cannot leave your vehicle parked here. Bullshit, I have special permissions from the governor. Uh-huh, I'm gonna have to ask you to remain where you are. The officer held up his hand. Curb along this street's painted red. There's a sign that clearly reads, load and unload only. I observed you enter the church more than 20 minutes ago, and when I got back, the car had moved. Drawing in a breath slowly through his nose, Nick forced himself to keep his power level in check. One traffic cop wasn't worth going all out. The officer tore the ticket off the pad and tucked it under the windshield wiper before he gave Nick a brief smile and headed back to his parking enforcement vehicle. Nick snatched the ticket off the windscreen and, once inside, crumpled it up and threw it on the floor behind his seat with the used fast food napkins and old receipts. He took out a miniature video camera and, withdrawing the memory chip, put it in the laptop in the seat beside him. Hitting the play button, he studied the close-up footage of Mr. Johnson requesting that he attack the island of Velena. Satisfied with the recording, Nick started the car, worked the katana handle gear shift on his automatic transmission, and and took off into the early afternoon sun. Chapter 2. Sunset cast a grim shadow over the face of the old Spanish fortress, now presidential palace, of General Zayas Dante. The foreboding aura of the night was pushed back by the floodlights and the shimmering down from the barbed wire walls that surrounded the horrible structure. The general, a hefty paranoid with a volatile personality, stared down at a beautiful pool that lay below him. Suddenly, a man wearing a red beret ran into the room. "General," he called. Dante, still in his bathrobe, strode through the dimly lit and eerie tunnels, followed by his elite guards. On either side, in the small cave-like cells, peasant workers were engaged in unloading white powder bricks and placing them in stacks on wooden pallets. Dante came upon more of his guards, surrounding a trembling peasant worker, his exhausted wife and preteen son. One of the guards held a small plastic bag of white powder, which he handed to Dante, who regarded it calmly. Dante then leaned down and came face to face with a terror-stricken peasant. "Did you steal from me?" he asked calmly. No, Excellency. I would never steal from you, never." "Everything that comes out of the ground is mine, not yours. You understand that, correct?" "Yes, Excellency. I swear on the lives of my wife and son, I would never steal anything from you." Dante straightened up and handed the bag back to the guard. "I understand. But if I can't see inside of you, how do I know if you're telling the truth?" From out of the darkness came a bone-jarring explosion that caused all present to jump out of their skin. From the shadows emerged an American, Chad Alpha, a rogue CIA officer in his 40s. Chad Alpha. Hair slicked back, his demeanor calm, but in his eyes the blackness that inspires fear. Backing him up were 3 lethal-looking Americans, Blackwater types. A giant man with a shaved head, the name Payne stenciled on his flak jacket, and his 2 ex-Patriot operators. In Alpha's hand was a Desert Eagle, smoke still curling from the barrel. "Well, now you can see inside him," Alpha cheerfully exclaimed. Dante looked from the dead man to the CIA spook, annoyed. Alpha moved off, followed by the 2 American operators. Payne stopped in front of the guards and leaned over to get right in their faces. "You assholes should take care of this kind of thing before it ever gets to the general." Before he straightened up and strode after his boss, the loyal Red Beret guards stared hard at the departing Americans. "And he was stealing from us," muttered Alpha. Dante looked on after them, rattled and frustrated, having a hard time meeting his own private guard's dour expressions. His guard whispered in Spanish, "When do you want them gone, General?" He didn't answer, merely nudging the corpse with the toe of his slipper and saying, "Take care of this," before walking off. Back stateside, Nick had returned to Senpai's social club. He picked up the folder Johnson had given him and began flipping through the pictures. He came to a printout of a Google map of the island, the image detailing the seaport. He was so deeply in thought that he didn't hear anyone approach him until... "Valena?" came a voice from the shadows. In a single precise move, Nick snapped the folder shut and turned to see Fred zoned leaning against a pillar. "That our next job?" Nick gave no reply, but fingered the scabbard of his katana. "They got work there?" "Not for the likes of you, Fred." "Come on, don't replace me. I'm too good." "You took the blue pill. I can't trust a man like that." "We were brothers." "Only true men can be brothers." "Bullshit, I ain't no cuck," said Fred with a hurt look as he turned to leave. "Watch your back. I know how to keep my blade just as sharp as yours." "Are you challenging me?" Nick said as he pushed his glasses up the bridge of his nose with 2 fingers. "No, I'm just a lowly T-beta cuck, remember?" responded Fred as he disappeared outside, the afternoon sun keeping his face below his fedora in deep shadow. Holy shit, I think I love this story. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe because it kind of fucks with YouTube and it's really funny. Also, if you want to keep the lights on in here, I have a Patreon and I have a merch store. And if you want to send in your own stories, r/Moonhorse Stories. The links to all that and more are down below this video. Every Saturday, there is a live stream if you want to come hang out with me and watch me play video games badly. I mean, that's a thing. Anyhow, I love you all, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye!